Good morning. It's December, and we have been talking for, half a year, maybe? I've given you all these tidbits, right, about my experiences with narcissism. Um, Family members, loved ones, friends, all that good stuff. But here's something I didn't share with you, which I think you'll appreciate because I don't think a lot of channels in this community talk about it. And this is for the women, honestly. Maybe the fellas can learn a lesson. I don't know. I want to tell you what a non-narcissistic man is like. I know, right? Can't happen. No, they're there. These are the quote unquote good guys, but they don't advertise. I have met many good men since my journey through this narcissistic hell, and it's made me wiser. Being a supernova empath is definitely being a very tough one, but it's also recognizing that there are still some good people out there too, right? You just don't go to war for all narcissists and that's your sole purpose. You actually have such strong boundaries that you repel so many people, but you attract the good ones. And here's the thing, when you get to a good, solid place, when you're emotionally healthy, you're not going to attract a lot of good people at first, right? But your life is going to do a little bit of a shift. And then you'll suddenly realize that the people who were narcissistic in your life kind of drop off and the good ones show up. And this is what makes dating fun. I know, right? This is what makes dating so much fun. Is because there's no pressure. There's no rush. You both can just take your time. So let me give you some of the traits of the men that I have dated or are dating, even during COVID, who are the good ones. They exist. First things first, they don't tell you they're a good man. They let their actions speak for it. Now you're saying, how, Supernova, how are you dating during COVID-19 where everyone has cooties and we are in lockdown? Zoom, Zoom, WhatsApp. The men that I date, and I date multiple men, they don't know about each other, but they know I keep my options open and they're okay with that. They refuse to take me out someplace that would endanger me. I know, right? They don't want to do coffee dates. They don't want to do walks in the park. They don't want to do dinner. They want to make sure that when the world is safe, that's when they have their time for personal goodness. But for right now, my safety is more important than their needs. They can handle that on their own. Another trait is that they're generally kind of shy. They don't want to mess this up, right? They actually want to get to know you, but they don't think they're good enough for you, right? They're like, oh my God, she's like amazing, and I'm like this or this or this. Now, they're not self-deprecating to you, right? But you can kind of tell that they tread very lightly around you, that they want to make sure that they impress you, that they want to make sure that they have all of these traits that you will find attractive because they don't want to disappoint you. They actually kind of want to just be around you and they want you to see that they're worthy of you. Trait 3 is that they're confident, not arrogant, confident. They don't mind taking a back seat with you. Like, they're not the kind of man that is going to, excuse me, that's going to say, well, I need to be the protector and provider and you just be the woman. They'll actually just do that on their own and let you do your thing. They're not going to be intimidated by what you're good at. If anything, if you're really good at something, they're seeing that as an asset. They're seeing that as a way to build a house, to build a future. I've had so many men who are narcissistic give me that speech of, let's build together, let's do this, let's do that, A, B, C, and D. Or, you got to let the man lead. You got to let him be the leader. A man who's not narcissistic and really wants to be with you, if you have your own business, if you have a degree, if you make more money than him, that's not going to scare him because he knows he's good at something else, something that you can't do, right? I've met multiple men who are great men who are not intimidated about what I did or my degree, right? They do exist. You just can't, rub it in their face, but if you're cool and if you're in a very emotionally good place with yourself and you love yourself, you won't have to do that, right? You'll just say facts like, I have this degree and I do this for a living. And they'll be like, cool, well, I do this and I do this for a living. Let's go get some ice cream, or let's have some coffee, or let's talk about this. Good men are educated. And when I say educated, I don't mean book smart. Good men are wise. A lot of women look for money, they look for degrees, they look for pedigree, but they don't look for wisdom. A good man is wise. He's street smart, he's book smart, and he has taken all of his life lessons and learned from them. We don't talk about wisdom in the narcissistic community. We don't talk about learning your lessons and bouncing back from your mistakes. We don't talk about the content of character. A good man is wise and he has a good content of character. And while you're scoping him out, he's scoping you out too, which is completely and utterly fair because he doesn't want to hold the bag of someone who's a hot mess, even though she might be beautiful, even though she might be popular. Things are different when the doors are closed and someone has to take out the trash, right? A good man will not ask you to build with him, ask you to build him up, ask you to be his support structure. A good man is going to come to you and he's going to know, I want this woman to be my queen. I want this woman to be there by my side and help me make my kingdom, not build me up, not build my kingdom. I want her to basically hone my subjects because my kingdom's already built. They know their responsibility as a man. Now, they're not saying, we're going to go back to the old gender roles. They know that the world has changed. And they do know that women are becoming more and more powerful, right? They don't want to have a woman as an enemy. They want her as a mutual ally. And they will, I know, right? I'm just talking. It sounds like a romance novel, right? But it isn't. It's true. It's super true. It's just that we don't, as women, we have this picture in our head about what a good man, a non-narcissistic man looks like, and it's nothing of the sort. Talking about this makes me happy because I used to be jaded. I used to be hesitant about men and if they work and if they'll ever not be narcissistic. But during COVID, after my divorce, after dating so many narcissistic men, I realized that I attracted what I lacked. And that's not a good thing, right? I was always looking for someone else to give me what I lacked. And for me, it was confidence. It was self-assuredness. But when I actually kind of found that in myself, that's when I started talking to men who respected me. That's when I had this one guy who was so cute and he was handsome, and he said, I really love your fire. I love your passion for what you do. And, I don't mind if you henpeck me for the rest of my life. I nearly dropped my glass, right? Like hearing a man saying, oh, I'm okay if you boss me around. Do you know how confident that man is? Do you know how self-assured he is? That he's like, I will let you lead me because I know you'll do the best that you can and we'll both benefit. Right? Like, that's something that was amazing to me. And the man I was talking to was not a schlep. The man I was talking to was making some pretty decent money, right? But he got a point in his life where he wanted to have someone who was an equal, someone he can talk books with, someone he could travel with, someone that he could have these experiences with. And he wasn't super older than I was. He wasn't like 10 or 15 or 20 years older. He was like a couple of years older. Right? But he had his head straight. So look, I'm only saying this because there are men who listen to this. There are men who listen to me on this channel, right? And some of them are good men, right? That they just don't have the charisma and the skill to bag a good woman. They're hurt too. And although I won't defend all men, I will say that the good ones do exist. But for you to have a good man in your corner is for you to know who you are yourself and for you to be very, very decisive. And when I became very decisive, it didn't matter the race of man that I dated. They all had the same traits, which was nobility, honor, patience, wisdom, right? After a while, a pretty face is kind of boring because I've dated pretty faces, believe me, plenty of them, 6-packs and all. But if they have no content of character behind those looks, then you'll get bored of them after a while, and they'll get bored of you after a while. So look, they may not be the prettiest, or they may be the prettiest. They might not be the most fit, or they may be the most fit. But look for a man with wisdom, and look for a man who lets his actions speak for him. Because men don't talk, men do. And I found that narcissistic men talk too much, and men of quality talk very little, but they show you what they're made of. Have a good one.